This is the men's room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
You're listening to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Say hello to our friends and listeners jumping on in Kansas City at 98.9 The Rock, Kansas City's rock station. Also Rock 100.5 The Cat in Oklahoma City and 105.3 The Bear in Blacksburg, Virginia. Welcome to the show. Ryan Castle, Drunk and Charge coming in. We will sit and spin today with the top 10 songs that have been banned at weddings. Also men's room rules coming up, and we'll drink and toast with a shot of the day. Our question today, what made you say, I didn't expect to see that? If you're just joining us, we brought the story earlier about a Chihuahua over in Scotland that has just an absolutely huge, as they call it, toodle. And a woman took some pictures of her dog's toodle after he became aroused humping a dog bed. People saw that online. They went, oh, my God, that's true. That dog has a huge penis.
Yes, penis, not toodle.
So what made you say, I didn't expect to see that? Now we have a caller on the line who says that, yes, in fact, what? Now, your boxer did he have a big one?
It's not my boxer. It was my mom's boxer, but yeah, he did, and it stuck out. And she woke me up at like 5 o'clock in the morning to come upstairs and help her try and lube it up and push it back in.
Oh no,
Mom! Mom, what is mom?
What is wrong with your mother?
I said.
Dude, how many times? How many times your mom?
I told her no.
How many times your mom been married?
Well, she's been married one time, but she's been with the same guy for like the last forever.
Okay. All right, just
so her thought, first of all, why did it disturb her so much that the boxer was aroused? Just because it was huge and unsightly?
Well, because it was like stuck out and it wouldn't go away, and he's just got a sister, you know. She's like, I'm not going to let him, you know.
Yeah, because
obviously so wait, she wanted to lube it up and push it back in. That's not how that works.
No, that's why if two animals are having sex and you need to separate them, you use the cold hose there. I think the cold water, trust me, look at the size of any man's penis. It's always going to be small when there's cold water around. Yeah. There's no big, well-hung man in cold water. I'm sorry. I mean, you can still have a big one. It's going to be a lot smaller in cold water.
Still bigger than the rest of us.
Exactly. But
I think I was just more disturbed that she woke me up to try and help her with that.
I would be pissed off.
How old were you when this went down?
I was probably about 26. I'm only 28 now, so it was just 2 years ago.
Okay, all right.
I'm still confused why your mom did this.
Like, why would she think that's a good idea?
Well, she has a daughter. She understands how sex works, so you can't push those things back in.
Right, you don't have to lube it up and push it back in, man. Otherwise, teenagers would do that all the time before they go to school.
Isn't your normal reaction, like, again, my dog's name was Tigger, but she's like, Tigger, get away.
Yeah, like, man, I just don't want to see
Get away from me.
It'll go down in time. Like anything else. Like, you didn't need Viagra.
I mean, right.
Like, if this erection lasts longer than 3 hours, I'll come back and, all right, we'll figure something out.
Lube it up. What the hell is wrong with
What
her?
made you say I didn't expect to see that? 844-999-OLA.
I mean, the route they were going eventually was going to go down, but I don't think they were going to be happy how it went
not
down.
like, oh, yeah, you lube it up. You'll be surprised. Hello, Bruce. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hola.
All right, so this was when I was at college. I'm still there, so I'll leave the name out of it. But me and a bunch of my teammates, I'm on the soccer team there, we were out at the bar one night, and we saw one of our other teammates go home with some girl, and, you know, he's always had a thing for kind of bigger girls, so we thought nothing of it. But we were walking back, me and one of my buddies, and we have like a communal soccer house, just kind of like an open door policy.
Mm-hmm.
And we went by to grab our booze to go back to our place, and all the lights were off, and we thought nothing of it. And so we're shuffling around trying to find our stuff, and eventually we do, and we hear him, the same guy that had left, upstairs. And, you know, he's Puerto Rican, and he has kind of a funny accent. He's a pretty funny guy, pretty distinctive. And we hear him coming down the stairs, and we've only got the kitchen light on, so we're like, okay, well, let's see what he wants. So we go into the living room where he came down, flick on the lights, and he's covered from head to toe in just blood.
Oh. God.
Oh, no.
So it turns out that it was actually her time of the month, and he didn't know it. So this is also a surprise to him.
I'm sure he has no idea.
I'm sure it's a surprise to her, too.
His explanation was just that he thought she was really into him. That was what was going through his head. So it was not only on his Johnson, but it was on his face, on his hands. Dry to that point.
You could recreate his steps with this woman. Man, oh man!
Oh,
what was his reaction when he realized he was covered in blood?
He actually he opened his arms.
Yeah. What made you say I didn't expect to see that? 844-999-OLA.
Sometimes you should leave the lights on, man. Hello, Carl. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, hola, Micholas.
Hola.
So, last year, what I did not expect to see, my wife and I were going to take this romantic getaway trip up to Holsbow on our boat. First time out, and so we're cruising along. We're coming out of Tacoma. We get to what they call the Rip, just south of Vashon Island. And if you've ever been out there, the water just bubbles and churns. It spins everything around. So she's on the bow, and she's watching out for the big old logs that are out there because you really don't want to hit one of those with the boat.
Sure.
And we saw this boat out there. It's like, man, this guy's good, man. Look at him make these spins and turns. And so I'm thinking, he was really maneuvering that boat. I wonder what he's doing. Is he looking at the wildlife or what? Am I still there?
You're still here.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. And so my wife's on the bow. I'm at the helm, and she's like, "Hey, he's waving to us." I was like, "Well, wave back." And
This is the problem. This is the problem with boat culture. Yes.
Yeah, no, he's waving at us. You know, both hands above the head. You know, like help, help, help. Now this is Memorial Day. There are hundreds of boats out there.
And
going up and north and south and everywhere.
And every time you go by someone on a boat, they all wave to you.
Right.
Yeah, we all wave,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. That's what I'm saying. I've had a situation like this, but keep going.
Okay, so and he's on the boat, you know, and the boat is spinning around, and I realized he's caught in the Rip. And I'm like, well, what's his deal? And all right, let's motor a little closer. So I'm about 100 yards away, and the wife yells out, "Hey, you know, what's the issue?" And the guy says, "Can you tow me to fuel?" So my wife, you know, she turns around and says, "He wants us to tow him to fuel." I'm like, nah, that ain't happening. Fuel is an hour away for me because I'm in a sailboat and I got a motor going.
Yeah.
So I'm not moving very fast at all. One thing I'm learning about the Puget Sound, if you have a sailboat, you just have a very tall, very slow motorboat until you can finally find some wind. So he didn't have no fuel. So I'm like, what does he need? Gas or diesel? He finally says he needs gasoline. I'm like, yeah, I got that. So now we've got my boat. We're about 45 feet long. He's about 28 feet long. He's spinning. So I felt like I was doing that moon orbit thing, like where you got a dock with the space station.
Oh, right.
So I'm trying to, yeah, exactly. I'm trying to spin my 45-foot boat to match the spin of his boat. We finally catch him. We had to throw him a line and fuel him up. But we were so excited about doing it, you know, and helping him out that we didn't get any pictures. Didn't even get the guy's name. Gave him 6 gallons of gas. He gave us a little cash for the help because he didn't want to pay a towboat a whole buttload of money. And off he went. And that was just something I did not expect to see. And when I talked to the guy, I said, "How long you been out here?" He says, "I've been floating for 4.5 hours."
Oh man!
Oh yeah,
and waving at everybody.
No,
Hey,
no.
help.
Oh, I know, man.
That's the problem. If everybody waves all the time.
There was different situation, but there was a bridge underneath a highway that we used to swim on as kids all the time. And we climb up to the girders and we jump off. Well, my buddy Matt basically scalped himself. He took the top of his head off like a flap, like it was just hanging there. And he had staples to put it back together. It didn't go, obviously into his skull, but I mean, his skin is flapping off and he's bleeding a lot. So
yes, that's what happens.
We're down below, like, and we're waving at all the boats that go by, like,
and then
hey,
they're like,
hey,
kids,
like crazy kids swimming, and we're like waving our hands, like, no, please come over, like
how many boats went by?
Oh my God, it seemed like a million. It was probably 4 or 5, but it seemed like way too many because now the blood's just running down his face, and that's basically what it took. It took the more he needed more blood.
Right.
And then, like, once the blood
more gruesome
the
he
more
looked.
blood that was
gross.
visible from like 100 yards away, then we were like pointing at him like, dude, somebody help us. So he could finally get off there. But I mean, we were like, everybody's just like, hey guys, waving like bikinis, like, woo. We're like, no, come over. We're like, yeah, fine. Like, we're not coming over there with our beer. Like, oh boy. What made you say I didn't expect to see that? 844-999-OLA.
It is fun to wave at people on boats.
Sure, because everybody waves.
Everybody's
Yeah.
kind. Everybody waves.
It's like the scooter lifestyle. Everybody waves at each other when you go by.
You guys wave at each other on scooters.
Yeah, my favorite though is the motorcycle people don't want to wave at the scooter.
Of course they're not gonna wave to you.
because you're not in the club. But sometimes they think they might see a motorcycle coming, but you faked them out on your scooter.
Do they start to wave and pull it back?
And then they do the whole thing. It's like when you reach out for the handshake and you go, psych.
Right. So what, they're coming up with the two
Yeah,
fingers
like,
like,
oh no, you're just a
no,
scooter
no.
rider. And you go back, but I still throw them the dab like, what's up?
I love that motorcycle riders don't want to acknowledge.
Of course
the
they
scooter riders.
don't. You kidding me?
Yeah,
I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I always try to say, hey, at least it's not a cage, right?
Sure, but I mean,
Is that the line you come up with? Are they just like,
That basically.
at
Well, yeah.
least it's not a cage? I love you throwing out the lingo.
Right? Like, you ain't gonna catch me driving no cage.
I tried,
I don't
man.
own one.
I want the wind very gently blowing through my hair.
I talked to a guy today, though. He had a scooter, and he rides, but he's like, in the city, it's cost efficient.
well, but he also has motorcycles.
Yeah,
And that's the difference. Like when you have a
He can
motorcycle,
immediately get cool.
you can be like, I just jerk around on this thing.
Yeah, the scooter's
I can just
something
take
fun.
it to the, like to the store real quick, pick up some bread and my flip flops, But if I want to drive to Mexico, I
Right.
jump on that.
But when I don't want to be embarrassed, I ride my motorcycle.
I probably would take a scooter to Sturgis.
Right, but when I'm really riding. What made you say I didn't expect to see that? 844-999-OLA. Hold the line where your call's coming up. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Still to come, Ryan Castle, the drunken charges in the sit and spin. And today, Ryan has the top 10 songs banned at weddings. That is coming up right after emails on our question. What made you say I did not expect to see that? 844-999-OLA.
Hello, Ricky. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Hola.
So, first off, I wanted to say, when I was a little kid, my neighbor came in with her son. The top of his head had been chopped off by a ceiling fan because he jumped off his bunk bed.
What did his head look like?
I can relate to what you went through.
Are you trying to tell me that a child was decapitated from a ceiling fan?
No,
Well,
just
scalp.
the top of his scalp.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, my
Okay.
God. I was like 8 years old, and it freaked me out.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm an adult. I'd point at the kid like, what the hell?
It's like a big flap, man. He just put it's like a big flap of hair. He's put it right back down.
But that's not my my moment.
Okay.
So the other night, I was going outside to smoke my cigarette before I go to bed, and I heard some noise next door. I thought it was my neighbors in their boat. Well, come to find out, I go outside, and then I see a family of raccoons eating MREs that they left outside.
They probably did that on
"What?"
purpose.
And they were all in my yard.
They had to be absolutely starving. I mean, think about how
No one likes MREs.
I mean, like,
I know, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Who
oh
would
my
eat an
God!
MRE?
Like, these are desperate times, even for raccoons.
Why were they in your yard?
Well, they live. I mean, like, there's a ton of them in our neighborhood, but I have no idea. They took them because it was by their trash can in the front yard, and all of a sudden they took it all into our backyard.
Do you think they were trading? I'll give you a piece of cheese if
Right.
you give me that applesauce.
I don't know what they were trying to do, but I was like, "What the heck is going on?"
I understand that to be MRE culture. I've heard.
What's that?
You trade.
Oh,
certain-
yeah,
certain
absolutely.
guys want,
Yeah,
certain
raccoons, man. I got a pair that live, I guess they live in the neighbor's yard, but every night about the same time. The mom and the dad, very slow. They're so fat, man. But so they kind of walk across my driveway, but then they have to hop this one fence. Mm-hmm. And it's comical to me every night. I don't know if they know if I'm there or not because I'm sitting there smoking, and I got a little covered porch area. And I watch them, same thing. The dude can barely get over the fence. This is every night.
Yeah, well,
right?
because they're dumpster divers.
So-
They're huge.
The chick jumps up, and it takes her a minute, but she can get her hind legs, and she'll go over and kind of like flop on the other side, okay? This guy jumps up, and he just hangs there. And he's scratching his leg. And it's like 3 minutes every day. And I'm telling you, it's gotten to the point I almost want to go over there, put my hand under his ass, and get him over. But the beauty of him is he'll eventually get over. When he goes over, they quote-unquote disappear into the bushes and foliage on the other side. But when he goes over, it's so clear that he just falls off the other side.
Is there a thud?
Well, there's a thud, and all the bushes kind of shake back and forth. It's like, you're the most pathetic raccoon I've seen, man.
Or the best.
They're the one thing about
that fat.
raccoons are
Dude,
kind of like
so fat.
they're kind of like Catholics. Once they
Yes,
get together,
just like Catholics.
they're not allowed to get a divorce. So I don't know.
Are they monogamous?
Oh my God! And not only are they're very, very family focused. So they stay together for their entire lives. And I told you this was awful. It was one of those moments where I was like, "Oh God, nature sucks."
Oh no,
it was terrible, dude. I'm coming home. And there's the same family of raccoons in our neighborhood, and I see them once every 3 weeks. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like you see them when you see them. They're out at night. But anyway, they had a few offspring there, and one of the babies was dead in the road. Now I don't know how this happened. I don't know if it was hit by a car. I don't know if it just didn't make it. Whatever the deal was, but the mom was kind of up on her hunches,
all right,
just over top of the baby, looking down, and she wasn't moving. She just looked up at me and looked down. And just kept looking down, then would look up at me and look down. I was like, "Oh, that's so sad. Right. Oh God." You know what I mean? Like, I don't even like raccoons. This is terrible. You know what I mean? Like, I'm so sorry for you and your loss. You know, like I wish I could have communicated. Like, here, have some cheese.
Right.
I don't know what I can do here for you. And, boy, that sucks. Here's a dandelion. My bad.
Sorry.
You know,
I mean, that's what we do.
What's that?
Pretty much. Have food and here's some flowers.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I've been to a couple memorial service the last couple of months. That's what you do afterwards.
I don't know what to
eat, drink.
I don't know what else to do.
Yeah. I mean, seriously, I remember when my grandma died. We sat at her house for 3 days, and people just brought by food.
Trays
of food.
Manicotti.
God damn it, don't bring up that manicotti.
They ate it all. What made you say, I didn't expect to see that? 844-999.
I just told that story before I went to that last memorial. I was like, I still remember. Rita Lucian's manicotti.
Someone needs to make a tray of manicotti.
It's that
a
easy.
big old pyro pan of it.
Hello, Steve. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
Yeah, when I was living in southern Utah, I was building houses, and every once in a while I'd have to go to the mortgage company, turn in some paperwork, and I go to the office, and there's all these fire trucks and police out front, and I'm going, man, I got to get in there. So I snuck around back and went in the door, and there is the fire chief and other guys. They're kind of scratching their head, and the elevator's kind of not quite all the way down, and there's a guy, lower half of his body just kind of hanging there. And I'm like, what's going on? And he says, well, he was up there on the second floor replacing the carpet, and had the door propped open. Well, the elevator started, it malfunctioned, so it started to drop. So this guy panics, tries to climb out, gets halfway out, and the elevator caught him. And so that little space between the elevator and the wall, that's where he was.
Oh, I'm assuming that didn't end well.
No, he's just hanging there, and I hear the guy on the radio saying, he's going into cardiac arrest, and you could see some blood kind of in his lower, where his crotch is. And I didn't think there was enough room for a guy in there, but...
there's not. There's not. The elevator forced the issue.
Later on, when did you find out, did he make it? What happened?
Oh, no, he died.
Yeah.
And they're just trying to figure out how to get him out of there, because they're like, well, what do we do? Take the elevator up, down, or cut him in half and pull him out, or what,
How long did it take them to get his body out of there?
Well, I went and turned in my paperwork, came back, and they're still standing there trying to figure it out. So.
I bet he took an escalator to heaven. I said, no, I'm going to take a steps.
It's all the same with you.
Yeah, exactly. I know there's an elevator. It might be easy, but I'm going to...
damn, man.
I'm not doing that.
I guess, does it matter if you go up or down?
I don't really have the elevator thing as much as the escalator thing. I know a lot of people who have a hard time, is the elevator going to drop?
No.
Just my sister has a terrible, terrible fear of elevators. She stays on the first floor when she goes to hotels. If she can't, one of the first two floors for whatever reason. I don't know if it's claustrophobic.
Did she hear a story or something?
I don't know. I don't know what her thing is, but it's real to her.
What about going up in a big building to see the view? She just won't do it.
She will. I don't know how if she can avoid it, she will.
Okay.
If she has to do it, she'll do it. But I'm sure if she was in Seattle and they went to the Space Needle, she would go up.
Sure.
But it would be the worst thing that she did the entire time she's here.
That one spooks me a little bit.
Right, exactly.
Well, yeah, you're looking
I wouldn't
at
recommend that one.
Right, yeah. There's There's a few like that.
You're packed in there like sardines.
People do go down on escalators, though, man. You're right. Like, when I was a little kid, there was a girl I knew. Her mom kind of ran like one of those off-the-record daycare things. But anyway, so I'm with her mom and her brother. And we went up an escalator at a department store. This girl was maybe 10 at the time, but her shoelaces got stuck at the top. Man, I just remember that was a real bad scene.
It's teeth.
So
it's metal teeth.
It's metal teeth. There was the one in,
it's like the jaws of death.
It was like in China or something. And everyone's going down to the subway system, and it just sped up out of nowhere.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's a bad scene. And one thing I realized, and this is effed up, man, on most escalators, that handrail, little black thing on the side, if you yank it backwards, it will slide. The elevator keeps moving forward, but the rail itself just slides.
Yeah.
So you can pull that thing back, and you see everyone's arms kind of fly off. And I'm like, man, could you not make that like that?
Also, it just common courtesy. A lot of people don't know this, so I'm just putting this out there, kind of like speed up when you're getting onto a high rate.
Stand to the right.
Merge to the speed of traffic. Same thing. Stand exactly on the right-hand side of the escalator, just in case somebody wants to get by you. Some people are late. Those escalators sometimes go for like 2 or 3 floors. People just
I'm with you. I'm always a right side escalator rider.
Yeah.
But I get annoyed when people stand there 2 by 2. It's like somebody wants to come by.
Yeah.
Treat it like the airport.
Not only that,
And I was going to say the airport is scary because I've been to an airport where like the little tram didn't come.
Yeah.
So everybody was backed up, but it's like people started standing at the front of the escalator. It's like, well, the escalator is going to keep coming.
I know all 4 of you want to walk side by side wherever you are, but you're creating a wall that no one else can get around.
They move.
Yeah, just like you see me coming, I see you coming. Like you gotta
get out of the way.
You gotta give me a little bit of room here, man. Like you gotta get out of that group. What made you say I didn't expect to see that? 844-999-OLA.
Hello, Nate. Welcome to the men's room.
Nate.
Hello, Nate.
And bye-bye.
Hola.
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 Jesus Christ, what's going on with people today? Are we not coming through there, Nate? You got us?
I was just cutting out as you were calling my name.
All right, good news. All right, Nate. What couldn't you believe that you saw?
All right, well, start off, tell the story. So I was a very naive child, 11 years old. Went out with a pseudo-aunt, my sister, and her son out to the movies. Go out to the movies, come back. My mom was supposed to be home, so that way she can let us back in the house. Anyway, me and my sister go up to the front door, start knocking on the door, and nobody's answering. So I decide, okay, well, maybe she fell asleep or something. I don't know. So I go down the side door, walk down the side, and her bedroom had a set of French doors.
Mm-hmm.
So I start going up to it, start peeking through, and I see movement. So I'm about to start knocking, and that's when I see my mom with another woman.
Oh, cool. Was it one of the pseudo aunts?
Was that?
Was it
no,
one
no,
of
no,
the
no.
pseudo? Oh, no, okay. It wasn't one of them.
No, so story's a little bit mixed up. So this is a side story to it. So my dad was on his deathbed.
At that point in time he was?
At that point in time.
Okay.
And he wanted her to be happy, wanted her to move on. And this lady had been over a few times at the house, and my mom just told me she was just a friend. Like I said, I was a naive kid. I didn't think much of it.
Well, she was there to make your mom happy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think your mom's going to say? Like, hey, man.
Yeah, you don't have to be a naive kid. Like, no kid's going to think, oh, my mom's...
Here's my friend. We're going to go scissor.
You don't understand. You understand the dynamic of your parents are your parents. Your dad is not doing well. He's not going to be around for long. You now know in hindsight what your dad's wishes were, and you know that your mom what her wishes were.
I don't think he got his entire wish because he didn't get to watch that.
Yeah, but at the same time, you didn't. Yeah,
I mean, like if that's the case, like
depending on what you're saying, sure.
Let me add on to it. So, I guess your mother noticed you standing there and seeing all of this.
Oh yeah. Well, actually, it wasn't my mother. It was her girlfriend or lover, whatever you want to call it.
Did you make eye contact?
Yeah, I made eye contact.
Sweet.
Yeah, it wasn't fun. It was just a really awkward moment after that, because her girlfriend was the one talking to me, explaining to me what was going on. But my sister was in hysterics. She couldn't believe it.
And I'm assuming it's just because what your father's still on the deathbed. Now that she's with another woman, I'm guessing that would be more my emotional response.
A little bit of both. I mean, but yeah, I would say mostly because Dad's still alive, but he is on his way out. We know that.
Yeah, and he already expressed his wishes. Yeah.
Yeah, but we didn't know that.
Yeah,
for the children.
We would know that.
And not only that, but as a children, you don't understand aspects of relationships,
well, of
how
course.
they work, and all those things. I mean,
But also, he's a kid. Like, all he knows is his parents together. So, like, if you have
nothing else,
right? Like, Thrill always had the one uncle, right? And then it's like, oh, it turns out he's gay. Like,
we're like, yeah, we know,
right?
You've had the same roommate for 23 years.
And he never paid rent.
I think for that, for everyone, Dad
in a one-bedroom.
Yeah,
we kind of figured that out, man. But thanks.
Right, but I'm just saying, like, I think for anybody, you're just like, you're used to them being a couple. That would be shocking for most.
I mean, absolutely, man.
What made you say I didn't expect to see that? 844-999-OLA.
But to be fair, he answered the question perfectly.
Oh, he did.
And he got into his house.
Yeah, that's really the silver lining. And he made it in. Hello, Chris. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
So, me and a bunch of guys were hopping on our motorcycles. We're heading up Mount St. Helens. I don't know if you guys know where Castle Rock's at.
Not exactly.
South on I-5. It's almost by Kelso. Anyways, you got to go up that way. There's one little gas station to stop and get gas in your bike before you head up Mount St. Helens. And me and a group of guys, we're all in there, and there's a bunch of bikes out and getting ready to pay for our gas. And this other motorcycle rider, he walks in the door, and he's kind of got his hands over. He's got one of those half helmets on, and he's kind of got his hands over the front of his forehead. And we're like, what the heck? And he's got a little blood starting to kind of stream down his face. And he's like, can someone call an ambulance? And we're like, man, what happened? And he pulls his hand off, and there's a hummingbird stuck in his forehead.
Oh man!
Like beak first?
Wow!
Beak first.
Is it alive?
No, the hummingbird was dead. But this dude, he said he was doing 80, and this hummingbird hit him, and it was like a dart. I mean,
yeah.
We got on that thing. It was stuck in the bone of his forehead.
Oh,
God damn, man. So, did you wait for the ambulance with him? Like you sit next to a dude who has a hummingbird sticking out of his forehead?
Hummingbird.
No, we stayed around for a little bit, but Toodle's kind of a little bit of a ways away from the ambulance station down there, and so it was just we got to see it. It was like, well, we still talk about it to this day. Like,
dude, that is the greatest thing ever. I mean, that is awesome. I mean, that is absolutely a once-in-a-lifetime shot. My money says that has never happened anywhere else on this planet.
I've taken some June bugs to the face.
Oh,
like,
look.
Oh, sure. June bug at 60, 70 miles an hour, it hurts.
Oh, man.
Not a bird.
I've taken something which I felt was like, it felt like a damn bird, and I know it was just a bug, to the Adam's apple. And you're just like, and I was only going 45 miles an hour.
That's all you need.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not like I'm flying down the road, so I can't imagine. I cannot imagine that sticking to that guy's head.
That was pretty impressive.
That is,
and you can't really get a hummingbird tattoo to
I would at that point, but let me tell you why.
What are the chances? It's flying in that direction at him.
I'm with Thrill. I'm getting that tattooed.
Yeah, like, look, man.
Oh, what is that, a weak hummingbird? Like, yeah, it was stuck in my forehead.
Stuck in the bone. It was stuck in my skull.
Do you see this hole in my head?
That's a hummingbird beak.
God damn,
that is definitely one of the ones I would want somebody to pull out their phone and take a picture.
Yeah, like, hey, man, before you call the ambulance, get a picture of this.
Yeah, I just figured he'd wrecked and was concussed.
You would think that,
sometimes
right?
when people are holding their head and they're still like kind of just out of it at that point, like with the adrenaline and everything, you don't really exactly know where someone's mind is.
Well, remember, Miles, instead of jumping to conclusions, maybe there's a hummingbird stuck in his face.
Was he holding the hummingbird when he was holding it to his head like this? Oh, my God.
I wonder if the hummingbird was really dead.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Because oftentimes they fly into stuff and stun themselves, but then come back to life.
Well, it may have suffocated. Like, I can't open my beak. Because it was stuck in the guy's skull.
That's a good point. He needs to open that beak.
That's something. Okay.
Can't eat, but you got a beak full of skull.
What made you say I did not expect to see that?
I think I bit off more than I could chew. There's a lot of head here. I thought I'm just used to eating like
what about
flowers.
what about if you took one to the mouth? Take a shot like that to the mouth? Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm sure.
Oh, it would bust out your teeth, I would think.
I mean, like, you think about what happened to Fabio on the
roller coaster.
With the pitch
I
to the
still
face,
laugh
man.
at that.
I mean, you think there's all kinds of stories about motorcyclists just taking brutal shots to the face.
Sure.
How did he not crash?
I don't know, man. Maybe because it was such a direct hit.
Still to come, Ryan Castle, drunk and charged of being a sit and spin. Today we'll get the top 10 songs banned at weddings and more calls on our question, what made you say, I did not expect to see that? 844-999-OLA. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
Hola, bitches. You're listening to the Men's Room.
We're going to Nashville, North Carolina. A Facebook post from the Nash County Sheriff's Office told a bizarre story on Monday. According to officials, deputies apprehended a man who was riding a moped in the pouring rain in Nashville. The man is accused of stuffing over $100 worth of steaks from Walmart down both of his pants legs and fleeing the store without paying. Photos posted on Facebook show an amazing haul, considering that he had all those steaks down his
frozen
pants. Yes, and there is his getaway vehicle. As you can see there, that looks like a, what's that, probably a Korean Scoot, you think? I can't tell. Yeah, I don't know what that is. 50cc.
As I say, it only looks like a 50.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's pulled up.
Quite the getaway vehicle.
But, who would have thought all that over $100 of the meat down his pants? Our question, what made you say, I did not expect to see that? 844-999-OLA. He got pulled over just because he was...
Because it was pouring down rain.
Right.
You got to think, everyone that's ever been to his house for like a cookout, it's like, hey, man, how much leg meat have I eaten since I've known you? Oh, I got steaks, I got burgers. Like, did it touch your thigh? Did you stuff it down your pants? Like, that would bother me.
It would, but frozen?
Yeah.
Still, man.
It depends on how he cooked the steak.
That's what I was looking at.
If he hooked it up right?
He got all Angus.
Okay.
I'm trying to read some of the labels.
If it's Angus, then whatever, man.
He's got fillets in there.
It looks like he's, you know what?
If he has the cut I like.
I think what he's got is, those are definitely ribeyes.
Yes.
Those are ribeyes. I think he basically is a ribeye guy.
Okay.
I think he's just getting, you know what, man, if you're going to go big, go big. Well. Get a ribeye.
I just can't imagine that happens. Because I was talking about that show Trailer Park Boys from Canada.
Yeah.
So there's a whole season where they're stealing meat. But that show is supposed to be kind of stupid.
Right, like this is a dumb way to steal meat.
This guy legit stole meat on a scooter.
Right. What made you say, I did not expect to see that? 844-999-OLA.
Hello, Sarah. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola.
Hola.
All right, so the story I have for you guys, it's called the road debris story.
The road debris story, okay.
Yes, the road debris story. My dad was taking my family and I to the airport. We're on 509 heading to 518 to get to SeaTac.
The Californians.
And
took the 345
as we're on our way, we see fire trucks, ambulances, police cars going the opposite direction, thinking this has no way to do with us, and we were very, very wrong. All of a sudden, a cop car comes up the on-ramp at 128th, and the car in front of us and my dad slide over. The person in front of us slams on their brakes and cuts to the right, and we end up rolling over what is now a dead body.
You don't know it's a dead body at the time, though.
We did, because we saw his face. However, because he had been hit so many times, his clothes were now ripped off and his legs were mostly missing.
Oh!
He'd been hit that many times. Had anyone stopped?
The person, I will get to that. As soon as my dad stopped, he got out of the car, making up new swear words, I'm sure, as he went along. I turned to my sister and reminded her that she had studded tires on the car.
Oh, that's a good time to bring it up.
Right, exactly.
It was. And my mom says, maybe this is an omen. We shouldn't get on this plane. Both of them got stopped in security, but we made it on the plane fine.
Why did they get stopped in security?
Did you just kill a man?
My sister, it was shortly after 9/11, so my sister had a nail file, and my mom had cuticle scissors.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, dangerous things.
Yeah.
My dad ended up going back to fill out a police report. We have a copy of it. He tried to run across the highway, even though there was an underpass right there. He tried to run across and terribly misjudged,
got hit by one car, flipped up and over, landed on the car behind that. That was the person that pulled over and called 911. He was ran over one other time before we got there, and that person pulled over, see what he hit, got back in the car, freaked out, and just drove off.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, well, if I remember correctly, I absolutely could be wrong. But if it's road debris, technically you don't have to stop. It's not illegal.
No, I get that technically I don't need to stop. I'm saying my moral compass would probably tell me.
For the most part, when that... Truth be told, this is what it honestly is, okay? You don't have insurance. You don't have registration. You have a suspended driver's license. I think most people, for the most part, should be decent people and stop. But I think the more that you see that kind of stuff happening, the more you have to realize that, or it could be ice. There could be a lot of different reasons why that person doesn't want to stop and, you know what I mean, give it authority.
But I feel like it's different if you hit them in a crosswalk or a residential street. That's one explanation. If someone's running across a freeway,
right?
Look, I hit them because they were there. So I mean, I don't think the cops think like you're intentionally trying to mow all of those pedestrians running across the. So you're probably right. Everything about them was.
Well, I'm just sure the freak out factor kept anybody from stopping.
I've seen you see the aftermath even with just blankets, and they're trying to shield traffic from seeing what's going on, and that still makes your hair stand up.
Only one, and this is so minimal, but it was. I was going home a couple of years ago, but someone had died on the side of the road. The body was there, and they had a sheet over the body. But the sheet had moved, so you could still see their leg. And even though there was nothing wrong with their leg, it just bothered me. Damn, man.
I understand what's up there. What made you say, I did not expect to see that 844-999 Ola? More of your calls coming up here in seconds.
Ola, the shenanigans continue on the Men's Room Radio Network.